Welcome to our session on ethics in AI, a topic that invites us to navigate one of the most complex and evolving conversations of our time. Today, we'll confront challenging questions. How should we respond to AI systems that surpass human expertise in critical areas? Should AI augment or replace human decision-making? Can we trust AI with our safety? And how can we use it to build a better, more equitable world? It's important to recognize that there are no perfect answers to these questions. Instead, we'll delve into the gray areas where technology, ethics, and human values intersect. Our goal is not to find the definitive solutions, but to critically evaluate the trade-offs, risks, and opportunities AI presents. Together, we'll reflect on the implications of these choices and explore how we can balance innovation with responsibility. By the end of this session, we hope you'll leave with a deeper understanding of the ethical challenges and an inspired perspective of AI's potential for good. AI is already making an impact on education. AI enables personalized learning paths for students and access to resources 24/7, but it may also create inequalities for students without access to technology. For teachers, AI can assist with grading, lesson planning, and personalized student feedback. However, it raises concerns about teacher job security and the dehumanization of education. Colleges can use AI for predictive analytics, streamlining admissions, and improving student success rates. Yet, ethical questions arise about data privacy and reliance on automated decision-making. Before we dive deeper into the ethics behind all of this, it's important to highlight how far AI has come today. Let's talk about the 5 levels. Think of them as stepping stones that show how AI grows from basic tools into powerful systems that could one day manage entire institutions. I'll also share real-life examples of how each level might appear in classrooms and colleges, making it easy for educators and administrators to see the potential in our everyday work. At this very first stage, AI works like a simple tool that follows clear, set instructions. Imagine a digital calculator or a basic spell checker. In an educational setting, a Level 1 system could be a program that automatically calculates grades or tracks attendance. It does exactly what it's programmed to do without any decision-making power. Think of it as the behind-the-scenes helper that makes routine tasks faster and more reliable. Microsoft Teams for Education offers many powerful AI tools built directly into this free app. Let's take a look at some of them. One really cool feature would be the assignment instructions. This would be AI instructions for educators that are designed to streamline assignment creation and editing to offer options to add more details, increase inclusivity, and engage young readers. Using AI, teachers can easily update their assignments with instructions for students that are clear, concise, and appropriate for their grade level. Up next, we have grading rubrics. This is an AI grading rubric creation feature that makes it easy to create rubrics to evaluate student progress when developing assignments in Microsoft Teams Education. This tool helps efficiently create effective grading rubrics for consistent evaluation of student work. Reading progress can now help educators create AI-generated comprehension questions for reading passages to help educators easily assess student understanding of their reading assignments. Educators can choose to create comprehension questions from the existing reading passage. Educators can edit these questions after creation before publishing them to students. Content moderation is employed to generate questions that are safe for students and meet the student's reading level. With the new classwork module generation feature, educators can generate modules and descriptions for their class based on the subject, grade level, and learning objectives. Educators can review and modify modules and adjust things like description style and number of modules. With this new feature, educators can easily get help building and refining their class structure. And last but not least, reading passage generation. This reading progress feature now allows educators to create AI-generated reading passages to safely generate personalized reading assignments for their students. AI-generated passages consider topic, age level, challenge words, and more that can be created from the creation form of a new reading assignment or from the Education Insights Reading Progress Report. These are just a few tools that are already built into Microsoft Teams for Education, but there's many other tools that your students may already be using that are completely separate from the school or anything else that you're doing in class. Moving up the ladder, Level 2 AI behaves more like a digital helper that responds to your queries. Consider a chatbot on your school website that can answer common questions about class schedules, campus events, or library hours. In a college, this could mean having a virtual help desk that guides students through administrative processes. It's interactive and useful, but it still needs clear instructions. It answers questions and follows a defined set of responses. Let's talk about Microsoft Copilot, which is far more than meets the eye. On the surface, it's a handy web app anyone can use. But there's also a deeper layer, the enterprise side, which seamlessly integrates with tools like Microsoft Teams and Microsoft Outlook. I'll be showing you how this integration works within Outlook, allowing you to transform your productivity. Let's dive in. All right, so we've talked about Microsoft Copilot before, but previously we talked about the consumer version. So this is the version that's free, it's available for anyone to use, and it's actually really good. Again, we have a basic chat experience here. We can upload files, we can upload images, and we also even have the ability to reason or think deeper. So this means that we can think for a longer amount of time to solve more complicated issues. And this could be a PhD level question. So definitely, this is a really advanced, great, free to use chatbot. But in the day-to-day, when you're actually at work, you'll want to use a different version of Microsoft Copilot, and that's going to be Microsoft 365 Copilot. Now, that is a mouthful, but it is pretty helpful as long as you have it enabled. The best way to find out if you have Microsoft 365 enabled is to go to office.com. And right away, you should see the Copilot button here on the left-hand side of the bar here. So this means that we do have Copilot enabled. If you don't see this icon, that means that your Microsoft admin still needs to enable Copilot. So definitely reach out to them if you don't see that button. These licenses are paid, so it will be $30 per user at the moment. So definitely something to be aware of. Microsoft Copilot for business is not free. Microsoft Copilot for consumers is free, but it does not have the same abilities as far as working with your files and emails here in the Microsoft environment. So let's go ahead and open up the Copilot chat here, and I'll show you the difference. So right away, you'll notice that now we have this M365 icon next to our Copilot logo. We have some really cool suggestions here. These are actually based on the files and emails and chats that we already have here in our environment. So you can see I recently got this invoice. We could try to understand the main points. That probably would be a little bit more useful if it was, let's say, some other document that wasn't a bill or invoice, but definitely any PDF file, we can go ahead and work with that file directly here from our chat. Anything from Squarespace. So let's actually try one of these. We'll try this Stay Informed. You can see here it's mentioning Squarespace, which is one of the website providers that I use. So we'll go ahead and tap the send button there. And right away, it's just telling me some of the things that Squarespace has told me via email that I didn't have time to read. So here we have a great summary of some of the things that Squarespace has said recently. Again, this could be pretty useful, and this is all directly here from our chat. There is a web button here at the top as well. So definitely be aware that there is the ability to search the web or search your work files here. So that's the big difference. There's also a prompts section here. So we can actually have different prompts that Microsoft has already created for us. We can just kind of reuse these. These can be really, really helpful. Or we can create our own prompts and save them here in the Your Prompts prompt gallery. So Microsoft Copilot for M365 is like many of the other apps, but definitely it's supercharged with the files that you're already working with. And of course, it's extremely secure, which is a really big, important thing to have when you're using AI at work. Now, there are a few different features here, but let's go ahead and focus on how we can use Copilot directly in our emails. So in the top left corner here, we'll tap the app button, and let's go ahead and open up Microsoft Outlook. Now, Microsoft Outlook looks different on Mac and PC, so today we'll be using the web version, but definitely Copilot is available here as well, as long as, again, it's turned on by your admin. So once Copilot is turned on and enabled, you should right away, again, see that Copilot icon here. And in the top right corner, you should also see the Copilot button here. So this is a really great feature. It allows us to compile, compose, reply to emails using AI. And it's a little bit better than you would expect because you can really just say whatever you want to it and help it, or use it to help you write your email. So let's take a look at how we could do that. I have an email I sent myself when I enabled Copilot, and I just said, try it. You can see here, there's a bunch of text. So it's all this stuff about Copilot. Looks pretty good. Now, in that top right corner here, we can go ahead and click the drop down, and we could either summarize, draft a response, or even chat with Copilot about our email or our calendar task or anything else like that. Let's go ahead and just start with a normal reply all. And let's go ahead and start writing. Now, right away, you'll notice on the left-hand side here, right where our cursor starts, we have that Copilot button one more time here. And we have a few different suggested prompts. So already we have a way to quickly, easily respond to this email. Let's start with this one here. Maybe just thanks for the info. So we'll click on it. And you'll see that Copilot has started writing our email. It's already done. And let's give this email a read. It says, thank you for sharing this information about Copilot. I appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so pretty good email. Maybe a little bit longer than I would have normally said or written. And so let's actually maybe just highlight this. And we'll click Copilot again, and notice that this time when we click the button, it says, what do you want to change? So we can auto rewrite, we can get coaching on how to make this email better, we can make it shorter, we can make it longer, we can change the tone here, so maybe something more casual, formal, or like a poem. Let's try actually just telling Copilot exactly what we want from this email. So we'll say, I loved your reply, but make it super concise, yet still friendly. So we'll tap the generate button here. And this time we have a shorter email. Let's go ahead and tap the replace button here. And now that has replaced our much longer email with a much shorter email. So this one's pretty good. I don't like the spacing. So again, we can just naturally space that out. And I think that looks good. Thank you for the info about Copilot. It sounds great for boosting productivity and efficiency. I'll explore the capabilities and check out the Help Center for tips. Looking forward to seeing its positive impact on our work processes. So pretty simple. It actually read through all of this content, which again, it's important for you to read as well. But when it comes to actually giving this person a reply and letting them know, hey, I did take the time to read this, this is a really great tool to give those nice, polite responses that everyone deserves. So we'll go ahead and tap the send button. And that's it. We just use Copilot to respond to an email. Of course, I'm responding to myself, so I'll get that email here in a minute. But you get the idea. Copilot is a really powerful tool, and it's already directly here inside of your email. Now, let's keep going. Let's wrap this up with the grand finale. So we'll tap the Copilot button here. And again, we have a few different ways that we can interact with the email that we're currently working on. Let's tap the new mail button instead. And maybe let's even try something like help me plan. So set my out of office from this time to this time. So let's go ahead and click on that. And I need to go ahead and type it at the bottom here. So we'll say set my out of office from Let's say 12 to 5 p.m. Now, this time, Copilot is actually processing my request and actioning on that inside of my calendar. So let's see what we get here. So it says, I can help you with an automatic reply for your out of office. We have the duration, so I can set the start and end dates. So maybe, for the next 3 days or 4 days, we could do that. I'm currently out of office from March 8th to March 11th. For urgent matters, please contact my manager. That looks pretty good. We'll tap the save button here. And now we've turned on that automatic reply while we're out of office. Now, before we go, let's wrap this up and we'll say draft with Copilot. And it says, what do you want this email to say? Well, we could use one of these suggested prompts, but they're not quite descriptive enough for my exact scenario. So I'm going out of town and I don't even remember what times we said. Let's see here. Here we go. 12 to 5 every day from 12 to 5 p.m. Let's say for physical therapy for the next 3 days. Please write a request to my manager to have this time off. Perfect. So we'll tap that generate button. And again, this should help us create an email that gets the job done without me overthinking it. Again, I just need an email to my manager. It says, I hope you're doing well. I'm reaching out to request some time off to attend physical therapy sessions over the next 3 days. I'm scheduled to be out of town each day, 12 to 5. This looks pretty good. It's always important to double check, read over these emails that the AI is writing for you because you are putting your name on this. So here's my name there. But definitely this looks like a really good email. I think this is perfect for what we needed. Maybe we can even ask Copilot, let's say, what would you make the subject of this email? Notice how I'm actually asking a question inside of the email. I'm not just using it to generate questions. I'm also asking it so I can get better content. And here it didn't have a great response, so maybe that's not the right way to use Copilot here. So I guess let's try it over here. So we'll say, what would you title the subject of this email? All right, and looks like I'm looking at that in the wrong way as well. So we can't get it to write the subject of our email, but overall, it is a very powerful tool. And if we did need someone to write the subject of our email, the best way would be then, if we can't use it here, we can always go back to the normal Copilot here in the chat, and we'll say, write a subject for this email. Perfect. Request for time off for physical therapy sessions. That looks pretty good. So now we can take this and go back. Perfect. Perplexity is a fantastic free research tool that your students may already be using. Perplexity provides answers that are accurate and always cited. It has citations in each one of its responses, and it even gives you follow-up questions to continue the conversation. Perplexity has a free plan and a professional plan, but you get a good amount of use from the free plan. And there's also an iPhone app, so it's available just about everywhere. Andrew is getting ready to go on a fishing trip for his marine biology class. Let's see how he uses Perplexity to get ready. First, Andrew navigates to perplexity.ai. He learned about this tool in class. Let's go ahead and start building his prompt. Build a shopping list of items to go camping and study marine life using Amazon. Pretty clear. We'll tap that send button, and right away, Perplexity goes through, it reads some YouTube videos, Reddit, and all sorts of sources to give us a really good looking list of things we might need on our trip. Let's see what we got. We'll definitely need a tent, and it looks like they recommend this Amazon Basics Dome camping tent. Cooking gear, utensils, sleeping gear, and most importantly, we'll definitely need a microscope, plankton net, water testing kit, and some specimen containers. This seems to be a pretty good list. At the bottom, we can also see those links and exactly what they cost. Pretty straightforward, doesn't get much easier than that. Now we reach a more advanced stage. Level 3 AI can handle most tasks on its own with a degree of autonomy. Imagine an intelligent tutoring system that not only answers student questions, but also analyzes their work, identifies areas for improvement, and even suggests personalized study plans. For administrators, Level 3 systems might automatically organize class schedules, send deadline reminders, or manage grading processes. This level of AI works independently on structured tasks, freeing up educators to focus on more personal interactions with students. This is the year of agents. An agent is a system which can operate independently to complete tasks for you. Computer-using agents were created by OpenAI to make it easy for anyone to create their own agents that can use a computer. This means these agents can type, click, and understand exactly what's going on the screen. Let's see how this works. First, we provide input to our computer-using agent. This could be tasked as text, meaning something like, please write a document about OpenAI's history, or maybe, please book me an appointment with my dentist. Whatever that task is, it will be turned into actions generated by the computer-using agent. From there, those actions or commands are actually applied to our virtual machine, which is our computer. So this could be a Mac, Windows, or any other device. Once we have that input, a new screenshot is taken and provided to the computer-using agent as an image. This is accompanied by an additional task, and we repeat the loop until the goal is completed. That's the basic idea behind agents. Let's take a look at how this actually works in real life. So this year, OpenAI did release 2 different agents. Let's start with Operator. Operator makes it pretty easy to connect to some of the services that you already use, search the web, or just control a Google Chrome browser. So let's say for travel, I was looking to travel to the state of Washington, and maybe I want the price to be under $400. Well, traditionally, I could go to Expedia or Kayak or Google Flights and spend my time searching through to find the best flight. But what if I could just give this to Operator and have it find the best flight for me? Let's give this a try. Hey, I would like you to book a flight to Washington State at the Portland Airport from my home in San Francisco, California. Please find a ticket under $400. Perfect. So this is our task or our prompt. And what happens is we'll send this to our agent and it will reason or think deeply about what I'm asking it to do and actually open a Google Chrome browser, control that browser, and hopefully find me a flight under $400. Let's give this a whirl. So we'll send off our task. It thinks about it for a few seconds, and then I will look for flights. Do you have some specific dates in mind? So let's try, let's say March 30th and return April 1st. All right, pretty straightforward. Now, notice how at the top here it says it's thinking, and then in the middle here we have an actual browser that it's controlling. We can always take control of this browser if we need to log in or type in anything else, but let's just make this full screen and watch while it thinks. And we can see what it's thinking here on the left-hand side. First, you'll notice it did actually go to Microsoft Bing and it searched flights from San Francisco to Portland, just like we would. You'll also notice that it's navigating the menu. So it's actually clicking through the calendar and finding the correct dates. We'll give this a second. And we can also see what it's thinking here on the left side. So let's take a look at that. So right now it's correcting departure and return dates. So it noticed that it made a mistake here. It said April 30th, and now it's clicking on March 30th. And now it's selecting the return date, and it's selected April 1st as the return date. Now it's clicking, and again, you can see exactly what it's doing right here. All right, so we have a few different flights here, but what's really great about this is you don't have to watch it work. It will talk back to you if it needs some help with anything, but overall, I can open any other tab and continue working. So let's open ChatGPT. Now, earlier in the Copilot section, we talked about reasoning models. This is, again, a model that can think deeply and take its time before it answers. Well, in agents, reasoning models are really the backbone of how they work. And the other agent that we have available here in ChatGPT is called Deep Research. Now, this is really impactful for education. This allows anyone with a subscription at the moment, but again, it's only about $20 a month. Anyone with this subscription, which hopefully this will be free one day, can use this Deep Research agent to do research for them on any topic and actually have a really decent report that can be up to par with PhD level. So let's get something that we want reported on. Let's think about this for a second here. So I would like you to research how to find funding for adult schools in Washington State. Now, we'll send off our prompt, and right away, you'll notice that instead of just doing the work, it actually asks some clarifying questions. So let's read these through. Could you clarify what type of funding you are looking for? Government grants, private grants, loans, or other financial assistance programs, partnerships with businesses? Let's just say gov grants, and maybe private grants too. Definitely needs support for GED programs and ESL classes. Operational support is great as well. Could you provide a table that makes all this info very easy to understand at the bottom of your report? All right, so now we have this question fully clarified. You'll see here it's starting the research, and what happens is it can research for as long as it needs. So it may be 2 minutes, it may be 10 minutes, it may be up to 30 minutes, but generally speaking, the measurements that they've taken on this, the studies, the research they've done shows that GPT here, or this deep research model, outperforms traditional human researchers when it spends more tasks on things. So the longer something takes to research, generally speaking, this agent has actually outperformed humans at those types of research. So just food for thought there. But right now, it's going to start searching and compiling these sources. Let's take a look at Operator and let's see where we left off. So it has some text here. It says the cheapest flight I found within your budget is a Frontiers airline flight for $217, but it has a long duration with a stopover. The next option is an Alaskan Airlines flight for $374, also with a stopover, but with a shorter duration. Would you like to proceed with one of these and adjust your budget or modify these dates? So I think this is a good look at our demo here, but you get the idea. I was able to give this agent a task. It found some flights for me. It did all the scrolling and clicking that I would normally do anyways. And now I can just get right to the meat and potatoes here, which is, hey, which one of these is the cheapest flight? and maybe, we'll think about the layovers as well. Awesome. Let's take a look back at our report on funding. Now, again, this can take a while, so I can't really give you an exact amount of time. But what I will say, if we look at the two sources are here, we already have a source here from SBCTC, and we have 3 of them actually. So let's see what we have. And again, it may not be linkable yet, but when our final report is done, we should have that there in our sources. So we'll give this some time. Here we go. We can actually read what it's reading through while it thinks. And what it did find is that the Federal Adult Education and Family Literacy Act aligns with Washington's local needs. We have some information from GrantWatch, Pro-Literacy. So again, this is research that I would normally be doing. This would take me maybe upwards of 5 to 10 hours. But eventually we should have a really decent report here. So we'll probably go ahead and fast forward this and give this a moment. So after about 10 minutes, our deep research agent did actually finish our report, but I did have to record this for a second time. So I'm sorry, we won't be able to see the feature here on the side that shows exactly how many sources it cited, but I can tell you that number is 21. So it actually did read through and think about and search through 21 plus different websites and ultimately created this report for us, which is titled Funding Opportunities for Adult Education Programs in Washington State. All right, so we won't read this entire report because it's massive, but let's just take a quick look at exactly how this all works. Maybe we'll read this paragraph here. So the cornerstone of public funding for adult education is the Adult Education and Family Literacy Act, authorized under Title II of the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. You get the idea. This sounds like exactly what we were looking for. Now, as it goes into this information, you'll notice these bubbles here, and that's because this is how it cites its information. So if you're ever wondering, where did it get this information, we can always click one of these links, and that will show us exactly where it got that information. Now, at the bottom of this report, we'll see here it does break things down into things like purpose, administration, eligibility, and application process. But if we scroll down to the bottom, I did ask for a table to be added to our report. That way, all of this information is much easier to review. So let's take a look at our table here, which is the summary of key funding options. So we have our first column, which features grant/funding sources. You can see one of them is the WIOA Title II Act. The next one is the Integrated English Literacy and Civics Education. And we have many other grant sources listed here. We can also see the source type. So if you're wondering whether that's a government, federal formula via state, or maybe even just a private corporation, we have all of that information here listed very carefully. We can also see the purpose/focus, eligibility, and application details. So again, really extensive report. This only took 10 minutes for deep research, but if I were to do this myself, it would have taken me the entire workday. And I think that's what's really important about agents. You don't have to watch them work necessarily, so it frees us up to do things that humans can do while we leave the computers to do the things that humans would normally spend much longer doing on a computer. So definitely food for thought when we're considering ethics. But, this is something that's here. The cat's out of the bag. We can't put this away. We can't make this go away. This is publicly available to anyone with $20. And honestly, more and more agents will start to appear throughout the year and the years going forward. So definitely, it's extremely important to be aware that agents can do research. And next, let's talk about the next level of AI, which will be our innovators. At level 4, AI starts to show creativity. It goes beyond following a set of instructions by offering new ideas and creative solutions. In a college setting, a level 4 system might analyze extensive data on student performance and uncover trends that lead to innovative teaching methods or curriculum improvements. Imagine an AI that, after reviewing past exam results and classroom engagement data, suggests novel ways to structure a course or introduce new learning activities. This kind of system acts like a collaborative partner, sparking breakthrough ideas while still supporting the human experts who guide the educational process. Finally, Level 5 AI represents the ultimate integration of capability, a master organizer. At this stage, AI isn't just assisting or suggesting ideas, it's capable of managing complex systems on its own. Picture an AI that coordinates an entire college's operations, setting class schedules, allocating resources, forecasting enrollment trends, and even assisting with strategic planning for future growth. This visionary level is about having an AI conductor that brings all the pieces of an institution together seamlessly. While we're not there yet, Level 5 gives us a glimpse into the future potential of AI in revolutionizing how educational institutions are managed. Today, most of the AI tools we see in education operate at levels 1 through 3. They help with calculations, answer questions, and manage routine tasks, making everyday operations smoother. As AI technology continues to evolve, we can look forward to more innovative systems at level 4 and perhaps one day fully integrated organizers at level 5. Understanding these 5 levels not only helps us appreciate the current benefits of AI in our classrooms and colleges, but also prepares us for the exciting possibilities ahead. By embracing these advancements thoughtfully, educators and administrators can harness AI to enhance learning and streamline institutional management. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the 5 levels of AI. I hope this explanation has given you a clear picture of where we are today and where we might be headed in the future.